Welcome back to the 4th episode of Bad Therapy. Cheers.
Cheers. So this is going to be an interesting episode.
So originally, this was our New Year's episode, which is why
It's our New Year's special. We got some bling. We're looking
dressed
cute.
up. I kind of look like
You look like you're going to a business meeting.
I kind of feel like that.
I
Well,
always look like I'm going to a business meeting.
you really do, but that's not really my
That's not your style.
vibe. But that's okay. I didn't really have an outfit that felt fitting for the pod. So
An outfit that felt fitting for the pod.
so this is what we're working with. But
If you notice a weird vibe coming from me tonight, we got some fun stuff going on.
we have had, I feel like every podcast we start.
I know, like, by the way, technical difficulties, this is wrong.
Yeah, this went wrong.
I suffer from chronic migraines, and we're getting ready to film. We're doing our makeup, and all of a sudden, I lose my vision. I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there that have it also, but it's called aura, and it's like someone shined a really bright flashlight in your eye, and then you get really bad pain on one side, like a pickaxe in the skull.
Jesus.
And then you throw up. Like, I already threw up, 4 times?
Oh yeah. This lady has been sitting down, like, usually, I don't know if you guys could tell, we like sometimes maybe take a shot or two,
Have a couple glasses of wine.
start.
Yeah.
And I'm an empath, and I feel like that's such a like cringe thing to say.
But it's true.
But it's true, because I'm sitting here, which I don't even know if this is what an empath is, but like your energy is so low and like you're in so much pain that I am in pain for you.
Well, honestly, that would be like weird if I'm like sitting here throwing up like in pain. You're like, ha, woohoo, like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go.
But
Like,
then when we're starting the podcast, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to carry this with the energy that I have inside of me right now. I was very pulling my energy from your energy, and it was just not.
so she took 2 shots,
And
and I took a suppository.
But my shot made her vom.
Oh yeah, I watched
Watching
her.
me take a shot made her have to sprint from the couch to the bathroom.
It's just like the nausea is so bad. So
Yeah. So my mom, you know, the angel that she is, just gave Madison something to help, curb the nausea. And she's like, it'll make you super relaxed. It'll
like-
really help. But the kicker is that you have to shove it up your butt.
yeah, no, which is a first for me.
Yeah.
And you know, we're feeling the effects. The side effects are slowly kicking in.
She was super nervous at first. My dogs are like, are you
Literally have the
dead serious?
zoomies. Like, we're trying to film a fucking podcast.
My dogs are, I don't know if you guys can hear, probably not.
I
but
know, we're just
they're
like-
sprinting, like it's catching us a little bit off guard, sprinting in and out the dog door. So,
So yeah, if I get up to run and puke, or if I seem a little loopy, it's because I have a little something
she
in my
was
butt.
afraid, she was afraid to put this up her butt for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons. One being like, she, the obvious
I'm
one.
like a hypochondriac, especially like when it comes to like drugs. Like, I don't like to take foreign.
So, yeah, the other reason was like because she Googled it immediately because we take everything.
She's like, no, it'll be fine.
with a grain of salt around here.
I know.
She's like, it'll just make you so well. Because the main reason she's like, I just don't want to get super tired. Because my mom said that it would make her very relaxed. And so of course the first thing it says is that
You have 20 minutes and you're going to sleep. I'm like, well, we better start filming.
Well, is it helping?
I don't feel sick anymore. I feel like I'm about to enter another dimension.
Really?
But
I kind of want one.
Jeez, you have problems.
I think she went to get me one and forgot.
No, I don't think she had any more.
Oh.
I took all the other ones.
Yeah, and you never used them. Well, and then I think we found out that there's like promethazine in it. Emmy, go.
So it's one of those nights on the podcast.
Emmy, come here. So
This is Emmy. Welcome to the podcast.
Okay.
She's the fucking zoomies right now.
yes, the zoomies.
Literally the zoomies.
I'm crying.
So welcome to our New Year's special. That's our opener for today.
I'm sorry, I'm crying. We'll get the hang of this one day. Another thing I want to touch on before we get started. So I know most of you guys, if you're following us on YouTube, you've probably noticed that I started posting these to my old ASMR channel. People did not like it. People were not.
They were so mad. We didn't sign up to watch this bullshit.
People were not happy about this. Unsubscribe. What is this BS?
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be ASMR, which I totally get and was fully expecting. But I think like it's been affecting our reach and just the organicness of the audience. Like it doesn't feel like the people want to be there that are there.
Right. They're like being forced as like a gun to their head to like watch our podcast.
It doesn't feel great. So I would rather just start from scratch. So if you're watching this on my ASMR channel, this will be the last episode that I post on this channel. And I will be posting all of the old episodes and new episodes onto the Bad Therapy
the new
podcast
YouTube channel. Yeah.
And I will be linking it in the description below if you are a YouTube viewer.
So is your ASMR channel dead?
It's dead. It's never coming back.
You're never doing ASMR again.
I'm never going to do it again. I RIP. I'm really sorry. I liked it while I had it. And, it would be great if the people that were there supported me for other things. But I get it. They're there for ASMR.
That's what they signed up for. Yeah,
I had an ASMR artist that I was super into. She was super famous that I always watched. And she made like a vlog channel. And I had zero interest in
You're like, I don't know you or care about this.
I like you for your ASMR. I love you as a person too. But no. So
literally turn around and did the exact same thing.
We literally did. Yeah. But we had people, I'm sure there were people that did follow like Ride or Dies. But
there's a couple.
Yes.
Still in my DMs from 4 years ago.
A couple stalkers.
So New Year's special. Let's talk about some New Year's goals, some New Year's resolutions. Like what are we trying to accomplish in the new year?
Okay. So New Year's resolutions, they get lost in the sauce, don't they?
Oh,
I think
you like have like a vision board,
January
and a journal.
is looking really good, and then February rolls around, and you're like,
everyone's back to doing the same old shit.
So obviously, working out more. I started a 9-to-5 this year. Is my first ever 9-to-5, working Monday through Friday, all day, every day. Right now is really rough because it's dark when I leave. It's dark when I wake up, dark when I get home. It's been rough.
Your day's over before it even starts.
But, yeah, exactly. But I think I finally found a rhythm with that, and I feel like I can do the things I want to do, even though it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. By the time I get to do them, I just have to be disciplined. So I think
absolutely.
For me, like instead of making it, go to the gym more, it's just to be more disciplined with myself and my time.
Discipline and consistency. I think people set these huge goals. Like I'm going to lose 40 pounds and I'm going to, make $1 million or whatever. It's like all of that can only be accomplished by habits and like lifestyle changes because otherwise it's like you said, just a resolution that gets lost in the sauce. Yeah. And we all have them. We all do it every year. Like we just made vision boards today and like mine's
we tried.
Get married and buy 6 houses and
Well, it's good though because it's just like it's what you want. Mine didn't get very far because I was struggling on. We didn't have a printer, so we were just drawing. Everything.
I know it's like pictures. Like
we'll make another one.
I drew like a really buff version of me.
It did not even look human, by the way. But yeah, and then I think another one for me was, for anyone listening that doesn't know this, I make music. And I've made music for a few years now. I started at the end of 2020, so I would say like beginning of 2021. And for the longest time, I wasn't releasing my songs, but I was working
You're making
hours and hours.
Yeah,
and hours.
I know.
I have probably like 100.
So much unfinished music. I'm like, Allie, like
so much.
Time to release.
And there are some that are finished that I haven't released. And so I think this year is going to be the year of, if I were to make like a goal for myself, it would be to release a new song once a month.
And I think that's the only way you're going to do anything with it.
Yeah, and I think that's attainable. But again, it's like with my 9-to-5, it's hard sometimes to balance. And now we have this. So
it's another thing on your plate.
Yeah. But when I make a song, usually if it's going to be one that I release, now that I've gotten more used to writing and making music, if it's going to be a song that I release, it's usually one that I make and finish within the month anyways.
Yeah,
so the only obstacle then would be getting it to an engineer because I record it all myself in my bedroom. I'm my own like writer and I do mix and master it myself, but I then send the raw files, raw stems to someone to make them better because I don't know how to master.
Right. It needs to like sound radio quality.
So I pay someone to do that.
Well, I think that's a good goal. And I think the goal with the consistency with the podcast too, it's like, it's one of those things where there's definitely times we don't feel like doing it. There's times when I'm,
like tonight,
vomiting in the bathroom. Like,
honestly, we're going to look back on this and be really proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you guys listening really understand what we've gone through.
How much effort it is. Like, tonight was brutal.
Well, not even just, the effort that we put into the pod. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, just like the effort in general.
Yeah,
like,
but that's you know, of course it's a lot, but that's on a day where we're feeling good and
it's fun. Yeah.
We can get through it. And then once we're here, it's great. But
I'm literally entering another dimension right now.
Are you really?
Trying to film a podcast. Yeah, I feel crazy.
Do you feel better though?
I don't feel sick anymore, no.
That's really good.
But I feel
right?
fucking
Because
weird.
That was the worst part?
Yeah, I mean, like, the nausea is definitely the worst part, but I just feel like...
Like, good or bad?
A little wub-wub. Good.
Wub. Okay, well,
Like,
that's good.
Tired.
Because,
yeah.
I'm not kidding, guys. 15 minutes ago, this woman was sitting there choking back vodka, or choking back vomit.
Existential crisis.
Sitting on the couch, staring at the ground. And let me just say, she could be having the worst day, the worst flu, the worst anything, pain, broken ankle, 8-inch piece of glass stuck in the back of her leg.
Stuck in my leg, yeah.
And she's fine. She pulls it off, pulls through like nothing happened. But this is how I knew she was not feeling well, is because she was literally looked like she wanted to be dead.
And anyone who has migraines, like, 100% gets it.
Yeah, I've never
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you fucking
We
don't.
told a few people that she was having a migraine and
Put your feet in hot water. I'm like,
have you tried that?
yes.
Yeah.
I've literally tried everything.
Yes, I have.
There's nothing you can do. It's just one of those things. But, you know, and that's one of my New Year's resolutions as well, is to take better care of myself. I think, you know, obviously I haven't had health insurance, haven't gone to the doctor in 12 years. You know, there's obviously new medicine, new remedies for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it might be worth it to.
Yeah, so I want to, you know, do some PT stuff, you know, go to the doctor about just all of my ailments. I'm like an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just take better care of myself and eat better and sleep better and go to the gym more and make more money.
That should be one of mine too, is to just focus on sleeping
Self-care.
more.
Yeah, I know. Like, we're not kids anymore. We're not at the club.
I mean, I do, but I'm just by nature, I'm such a night owl. I stay up all night.
It's so bad for you.
I was that kid that would be rearranging their room at 3 a.m. and my mom would come in and be like, "What are you doing?"
You're like having a manic episode.
For real.
None of your business.
Is that another one of those things? Was like, that might be something else.
Yeah, no, that's something else for sure.
Yeah, no, I do. I get like a burst of energy at nighttime. It's weird. I'll be tired all day, and then at night I'm like, doo, 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 like
yeah, I definitely think that's something to do with your mental illness. But she's like, really?
It could 100%.
You get the zoomies.
Pretend. Am I the one with the thing up my butt?
It's like my eyes are like crossing. I'm like, yeah, zoomies. So, in honor of New Year's, we're gonna talk about some of our late New Year's stories, you know, back in our prime, back in our heyday.
Back in the fun days.
Back in the good old days.
The days that we are reluctant to talk about, but make us who we are.
They need to be talked about, or we're not going to get famous.
Yeah, they are. They're worth listening to.
So you go first.
Okay. Mine's definitely not as crazy or fun as Madison's, but okay. So this was like 2 years ago. I was bartending full time in my city, and I don't even know who I was during this time of my life because
she was not well.
She was not. I can't imagine doing any of this now. I'm out one night and I'm with some of my friends, people that I used to work with at the bars, this really sweet girl, and she's telling me we go into this bar, and she sees this girl and she tells me, like, that's a girl that threw a beer. Okay, so quick side note. So we were hanging out once, and her and my other friend went to go get pizzas, and when they came back, they were like, she had like blood on her face, like a cut.
That's
because
insane.
Some girl at a pizza place threw a pint glass.
You could literally kill.
She
realized that she could kill somebody by doing that, right?
They didn't know them. It was just like.
And she didn't like throw hands on sight?
No, because she's so nice. So that's why when
Okay, how do you be that nice?
Because she's just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And she's very unconfrontational and like.
Someone threw a fucking glass at her head?
On sight. 100%. This is like 6 months later, but it's New Year's Eve. We're at a bar. Funny enough, it was a bar that I ended up working at like 6 months later, but at the time I didn't work there. So we're at this bar, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, that girl over there, that's the one that threw the pint glass at my head."
That's so wild.
So I'm feeling frisky. I'm feeling feisty.
No way.
I'm feeling myself. I don't know what got into me, but my motherly instincts took over, and I wanted to like protect my friend who's too sweet to do it herself. So I walked up to this girl, fully intending to start a problem.
Well, I mean, she kind of deserved it.
Yeah, 100%. But also, like, why would I? It's just not worth it.
I know. It's like, it was like 3 months ago. Like, she has no idea.
Yeah. So I walk up to this girl, and she's at the bar, and I'm like, "Hey, like, how's it going?" I don't really
You
remember.
approach her like kind of friendly.
Yeah,
like,
I don't really, because I wasn't really trying to start a fight, you know.
It's a little passive aggressive, right?
Yeah, I was just like, why? So basically, I don't really remember what I said, but I do remember being like, do you see that girl over there? Like, do you recognize her? She's like, I don't think so. I'm like, oh, well, it's weird because you threw a pint glass at her head. And I named like the pizza place, you know.
How long before was it?
So that had happened like 4 or 5 months
Oh, so it was a while.
It was a while.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember we were getting tattoos and they left to get food because we had been there for so long. It was like me and my coworkers at the time. We all went and got tattoos together, and 2 of us, and I stayed because I was like getting my tattoo next or something. They went and got pizzas for us. So anyways, she immediately like snaps her head back and her whole demeanor changed, right? She's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you're going to sit here and try to ruin my night? Something, da 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 da. And then she shoved me.
Oh my gosh, she's out of her mind.
Yeah. Freaked out. Clearly, like, I mean, I was instigating, but I was being calm.
Yeah, but like, why does she have to be so violent? Like,
yeah, like, she could have just been...
You realize you go to jail for stuff like that when you're an adult, right?
Yeah, yeah. So she shoved me, and so I looked at her, and I was like, don't push me, don't touch me. And she did it again, and I was like, touch me one more time. And she did it again, and so I just fucking socked her in the face.
It's immediately right in the middle.
And you know what's funny is she looked at me like deer in the headlights, shocked.
Well, she thinks you're gonna shove you 3 times.
I punched her in the face like 4 different times.
Jeez, she didn't punch back.
Well, it was like she was like pushing me, and so the third time she pushed me, I just like
hit her with the left, right.
I just came back to
left, right uppercut.
And but she just like kind of like was stunned and didn't fight back, and it's crazy because I'm like such a big bark, no bite.
Right.
Like what did you expect to happen?
Right.
Like, no one ever stands up for themselves when you're fucking pushing them.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Don't put your
She's
hands
lucky
on me.
it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And because I'm not very like strong, so I'm sure the punches didn't hurt very much, but nonetheless, she was a little bit stunned. And then I just remember the security dragging us out, and I'm talking to the security guard, and mind you, I'm toasted. I'm not sober whatsoever. But I'm talking to the security guard, and apparently at the time, because I think I bartended so much that I drank so much that I just
You're
seemed
like
sober,
completely coherent.
Yeah, I just knew how to handle my shit. Whereas the cops were talking to me. They were like, "Well, you seem completely sober."
You're like, "I know I am."
I was like, 100%. I'm
lying.
And they were like, "She seems just completely off her rocker, basically." And I
You're
was
like, "Yep,
she is for sure." So she got banned, and I didn't get.
She did,
and I got a job there 6 months later.
Oh my god!
But then, so the next, I go next door. And I run into one of my old coworkers who was actually there the night of this
debacle.
The beer pint glass being thrown. She was the girl that went with my other friend to get.
So she was there when
pizza.
she got the cup thrown at her.
Yeah, but she wasn't there when this like fight happened. So I walk in and she was upset with me because, well, she says it's something else, but I believe that it was because she thought that I was hooking up with someone that she was hooking up with, which I wasn't. And I was obviously very fucked up and distraught at this time. I just
like already just went through something. Yeah.
And had been being weird to me or things had been weird between us. We worked together for like a couple weeks and we had been really good friends prior to that. So I decided to confront her that night.
Allie's just like airing it all out.
I was just like fucking up to no good, I guess. I wasn't aggressive. I was just like,
what's going on?
I had heard things behind the scenes of why she was mad at me, and I was like, that's bullshit. That never happened. Why does she think that happened? Why wouldn't she ask
like,
me?
why are we not talking about this?
Why is she giving me the cold shoulder? You know? So something happened, and then I asked her about it, and then shit hit the fan because she was denying that was why she was upset with me, that it was over this guy. But I was like, there's literally no other reason why you would be mad at me. Like, I haven't done anything. We were so close.
Then like, if it's not him, then why?
Yeah, I don't understand. She didn't have an answer. And then because I was so adamant on that, she was like, I remember specifically, you're getting crazy right now, and like, I can't talk to you when you're like this. And I was just like, I remember her walking away and me being stunned because I'm like,
what? We're just having a regular conversation.
What am I doing? Yeah. So at this point, I'm fucking hammered, crying at the bar.
Maybe you literally were being crazy.
And it's this small ass bar. It's not like big, and there weren't that many people there. And so I'm sitting there crying at the bar. So much so that to the point where the bartender, the owner of the bar, like, they knew me. I don't think they knew me that well at the time, but they definitely knew me. And so she like pulled me outside, and she was like listening to these girls. Oh, and then I went over to them at one point, like, what is going on? And one of them was like, you're really starting to piss me the fuck off. Yeah, it was crazy.
Jeez.
So I'm just like drunk and confused and
Happy New Year.
alone. Yeah, and I'm alone at this point because all of my friends, which those were my friends, they were all my coworkers, but they all sided with this girl
Oh my God.
because they had all gotten hired from her recently. So it was like me and her had been there for like a year, and then these girls were new. So I was like, fuck this. But I was too drunk and like upset. And you know how when I get upset, I get really emotional.
You got to air it out. Yeah.
Like you're very able to be
stoic.
or just like you're able to use your brain, whereas I just become an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
Because I get so overwhelmed with emotions. And I was very upset too because this was like my friend, and I was sad that we were fighting, and it was New Year's.
And everyone else is taking her side.
Yeah, and like I just felt very like ganged up on it. It was just like not a good night. So I'm sitting at the bar sobbing, and the bartender owner brought me outside, and she was like, overheard the whole thing, and basically gave me a pep talk. Was like, "You are too good to be crying over these girls."
Don't let this happen.
Yeah. Like, get back in there, put a smile on your face, go find your friends, and go have a good night. Like, it's the new year. It's, like, enough. I was like, period, sis. Like, let's go. So I go back inside, ironically enough, to find... Well, actually, no. There was a girl that was she's from Australia, but she's married a guy here, so she's living here. And I ended up hanging out with them because she saw me crying. And she was like... So I told her the story. She's like, oh, my gosh, that's crazy. What a bitch. You can hang out with us. Like, we got you. And then somehow I end up hanging out with the guy that I supposedly was hooking up with that she was upset about.
Now she's really triggered.
No, but so I'm thinking, okay, well, if you think I hooked up with him.
That's not how we solve problems, Allie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was unhinged.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be accused of hooking up with this person that I never hooked up with, like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, which obviously that's not like at the forefront of my mind, but
Right.
he shows up and I'm like, okay, well, if they're all mad at me for hanging out with you anyways, I might as well just fucking hang out with you.
And he was your friend,
And
right?
he was my 100%. We were just friends until like that night, which again, we didn't like hook up, but we ended up hanging out like with all of these people. And then we went to, we used to have a long nights when I was bartender. I think we went to another bar owner's rooftop, or not rooftop, like penthouse type vibe apartment, until probably like 9 or 10 the next morning.
That's insane. I could literally never.
And then I left with that guy, and we went and got coffee. We had like a little date.
Do you sleep?
Yeah, I eventually did. We went and got coffee, had a little date, and then I went home. And I literally never talked to him again until like a couple months later. But
like, he wasn't the one, but like it just had a spite.
But you know what's funny? Yeah. So I'm all like, I get home and I Uber home, and I get home and I'm all like sitting in my room, all upset about this still, like drunk, just like hadn't slept, super upset. I call my boss.
Oh my God.
And I quit my job.
Over
9 a.m. on January 1st. Yeah.
No way.
And the first thing he said, is it because of so-and-so? Because she had been driving everyone out of there.
What?
And I was like, look, I'm not naming names. I'm not causing drama. I'm just not working here anymore.
Yeah.
I deserve better than the treatment that I get from the people that I've worked with for so long.
Yeah.
And the new people. And I just like, I can't handle it. And I'm sorry.
And then you get a job at the bar.
Yes.
You got
and then
full circle.
Full circle. The next job I got was which I never intended to go back to bartending after that. I was like, I'm so done. But
I remember that. You were like, I'm never
so
doing this again.
So I went full throttle into ASMR. And I made a lot of money when I was doing it full time. But that's when I really reached burnout with that and realized how much I wasn't passionate about doing that
really
anymore.
Invested in it, yeah.
Because I really just felt like I was doing it for the check. Because at that point I didn't have a job. So I needed it. And it took away the fun, which when anything becomes a job, it's no longer fun.
Totally. And then you don't want to do it, and then you stop being committed, and Jesus, I can't talk.
No, you're good. But then I applied at the other bar that I punched that girl in the face in, and I was nervous that they would remember me. And what's funny, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then you can tell your story, is about 6 months into working at this bar that I had punched the girl in the face at, I'm talking with the GM one night, and we're still really good friends. Our birthdays are like 2 days apart, so I always give him shit. I'm like, we're the same person, even though he probably hates that.
He's like, no, we're not.
We couldn't be more different. It's so funny. But I think I brought it up because I was reluctant to bring it up in case they remembered the girl. And
like,
they were
my God, that's you.
But at this point, I was like, they're not going to fire me, and I'm friends with these people.
It's been 6 months.
So I bring it up, and he goes, that was you?
He's like, you literally can't work here.
He said it was right in front of his well. And so from his perspective, he's working. He's at his well, and he sees it happening right in front of him. Because, we were literally standing right in front of him. And so he said before I even threw the first punch, he had already waved security over.
Because the girl was pushing you.
Because she was pushing me, and that he was like afraid that, but then he's like, I remember you just started wailing on her. And
she gets 86 and you get a job.
Yeah. How funny is
That's
that?
the New Year's special
I
for
really
you.
think that's so funny.
That is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I no longer work there, obviously, but I did get invited to their Christmas party this year.
Did you go?
I was not feeling well the night that it happened. But
Bummer. It would have been fun.
I know. I really am upset that I didn't go because I feel like it would have been really fun. And I was like super, like.
I'm sure it was fun. That bar? Yeah.
I thought it was so nice that I even got invited after all the shit I put that bar through.
So much.
Yeah. I was kind of a disaster. But that's what, with anyone that's drinking that much and in that environment, everyone's a shit show.
Oh, totally. Like,
at least I had a good attitude
people
about
call
it.
in all the time in that industry. It's just.
Yeah. And I mean, my mental health was, like, I would call in strictly because my mental health was like, hey guys, I might not be making it through the rest of today.
I will be crying during my shift, so
yeah, I might be jumping off a hill later today. TBD.
A hill?
No,
That's
I'm
not
serious.
even that bad.
I'm so serious. Like, it was just a hill, killing myself.
Can,
Not that bad.
Rolling down a hill, like
Not rolling, jumping off a mountain, a bridge.
okay, a mountain.
Yeah. So TBD, probably not going to come in today if that's okay. And they were always so nice about it, but
Like, yeah, that's fine. Like, just take care of yourself.
they were obviously an inconvenience to everyone.
I
but-
went through a very similar phase in my life. Obviously, I lived in San Diego, and this leads into my New Year's story. Is like, I did bottle service. So obviously, that whole environment is just like so much and so taxing on your mental health. So it's New Year's, and we're at the club that I did bottle service at, but I wasn't doing bottle service at the time, and I would used to wear these like 6-inch heels, like these crazy heels, and I'm 5'10".
You're tall as fuck.
Yeah, so I'd literally be like 6'5" into club, like
In the club.
towering over. I mean, everybody. For someone else to be 6'5" is like very rare. So I could see over the whole crowd. I could see the stage. VIP booths, VIP tables usually. So it's New Year's. Obviously, there's a pretty famous rapper performing. I won't name any names. And my 6'5" looking ass is, dancing in the crowd, whatever, having a good time for New Year's. And he's like, hey, let's get that big white bitch up on this stage. And I'm like, me? Like, my head's like literally, who else? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I get pulled up on stage, and obviously a couple other girls, and, we're dancing, having a good time. Like, I feel so cool. This is like one of the most famous rappers of all time. Super cool. In my head, honestly. At least. Yeah. And so we go backstage after a set, and this is my first time in an environment like this. Like, there's famous people everywhere, rappers and Instagram, groupie, I guess you'd call them influencer, like people who are relevant. At the time, I didn't really know that they were relevant, but
now you see them everywhere.
And obviously the rapper is relevant, and just like the way they live, the way they party, it is so not for the regular people.
Right, because they have so much money.
I'm like starstruck back there. There's just like no rules, no regulations. Dom Perignon, and Veuve, and just like the nicest drugs. Veuve Clicquot. The champagne. The nicest drugs.
Just like a surplus.
Like everywhere. Alcohol everywhere. People taking shots. Like, obviously taking shots is normal, but there's just like a vibe.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've never obviously been in that position, but every story I've heard is just like I feel like when I think of it, I think of like the way you've described it to me is like, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie The Dirt. Have you even seen that movie?
Yeah, for sure. Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, yeah.
It's like that, but not like that crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But like that's just like obviously not like that, but that's what I envision.
Yeah, I mean it's like Project X. There's no chill, and everyone's having, especially on New Year's, like everyone's down for the ride. So
on New Year's
I'm trying not to act like starstruck, like, because you don't want to see like a sore thumb sticking out, like trying to be casual and fit in, and
like you're not meant to be there.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I belong here. I'm 6'12", like 6'12". I'm 7 feet tall. And my friend was with me at the time, and she was definitely fit the criteria for like the LA groupie pretty girl, like very thick, pretty lips and hair. And so we get invited to the after party. I'm like in shock at this point. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to X so-and-so rapper's after party on New Year's. And
Did you go to his house?
It was like their rental, or whatever wherever they were staying. I don't think he lived there, but crazy penthouse, like view of the entire city and ocean. Like one of the nicest places you could possibly imagine. I'm doing my Italian hand. Like that's how nice it was.
That's serious.
And same thing. The vibe is just, I'm just trying to keep up at this point. Like getting obviously pretty drunk, you know, trying to hang with everybody. And again, there's just no chill. So my friend is flirting with one of the rappers, side rappers.
The other rapper.
The other rapper who's still relevant, but not as relevant.
Right.
And his chick like sees them talking. And of course.
Wait, she's flirting with him in front of his girlfriend?
I mean, it's.
Or his girl?
She's at the party.
Yeah, bold move.
That's the vibe. That's what
if I were at that party, I'd be in the corner.
Just like, no, literally me on the couch.
Like someone give me something to make me
trying to
social.
Like, trying to be casual. And so they're talking, and obviously his girl is one of those girls that like, has no chill.
Oh God.
So she like runs up and she's like, who the fuck are you talking to my man? Like, and it's not a huge party. It's not like there's a ton of people there. I mean, there's a decent amount, but you can hear it. You can see it. It's a scene. And so of course we get kicked out.
Oh my God.
I know, because it's not like they're like, who do you know here? I'm like,
oh my God. Literally.
You can bleep that out, but it's like, you know, we obviously don't belong there. And then she goes and does that. So I was so
like as if he's gonna be like, yeah, I know them.
This is my girl.
Stay.
Yeah, no. I'm like,
he's like doesn't even remember you
like,
coming on stage.
Who's this huge bitch? Like, what is she doing at my party? And so we get kicked out, and I was so mad because I was chill. Like, I was fitting the vibe. Like,
you were doing your thing.
Totally. And
but
so
did you get kicked out too?
Well, she got kicked out, and I'm not just gonna like bye. Like, it was nice knowing you.
I don't know. Maybe it sounds like you should have.
I know, but like I didn't know anyone.
But yeah, who were you gonna,
I don't know. And so we leave. We go to another party, and so I check my DMs a couple of days later. I have a DM from not main rapper, but side rapper. Like, where'd you go?
The one with the girl?
No, different one. Well, he probably had a girl too. You know?
Yeah, probably.
Like, where'd you go? Like, love to get to know you more. Like, this guy's got 1 million followers on Instagram. He's very relevant.
What'd you say?
I didn't see it because I wasn't, you know, it was New Year's. I wasn't checking my phone.
Right.
It was in my like DM requests.
Damn.
And so by the time I replied, he's like, of course, over it. He doesn't even remember who I am.
Damn.
But I was starstruck.
That's crazy.
And that was the one point in my life where I'm like, maybe I could be an LA girl.
Yeah, you
like,
could do
maybe
this.
I could get into this scene and like, you know, potentially this could be the way up.
I mean, you've always had such an easy like access to that type of environment. I feel like whenever I'm with you, we get the weirdest like good luck with the people and the places that we go.
It's the big loud mouth.
or the tall, like,
Yeah.
you just stand out. And you are very, very good
Like
with
my
people
voice projects and like.
Yeah.
So people usually are, you know, I wouldn't say.
You're also really like gorgeous.
Oh,
you fit the like
sweet.
the body type. The
Except I'm just huge as the problem.
but I feel like rappers like things that are
yeah, no doubt.
unique.
So it was fun. It's definitely not going to be anything like our year this year. We're probably going to be.
We are grandmothers. we
Like,
have entered our grandma era.
Our life has changed so much. We're like.
In a good way, because I mean, yours sounds fun. Like, I think I would be down to do something.
It was
similar
fun.
to that.
I feel like I'm a little old for it now, but at the time, I mean, it was perfect.
I don't know. I think I would be down to go to. Can you be too old to hang out with actual celebrities?
No,
you know
I
what
don't
mean?
think so.
My story, too old for. I'm too old for
You're
that.
like, you need to stop punching
There's-
people in the face.
My story was just a bad era.
But
of
it's
my
funny,
life.
you know, like I feel like we talked about this when we went out the other night for like one of the first times in a while. And normally I've never waited in line. I've never, you know.
Yeah, you jump the line. You know the bouncers,
free drinks,
even if
free
you,
whatever.
Even
Yeah.
if you don't know the bouncers.
No, and it's not like I'm
you
like,
get us
can we
in.
like, no, it's just something that always seemed to happen. But last time we went out, I'm like, I couldn't make it happen. I lost my zing. I lost my sparkle.
Well, for a while it was me because I knew people downtown.
Yeah.
But even like I said, when we lived in San Diego, I wasn't getting us in anywhere, and you got us in everywhere.
I remember
Friends
there'd be
with
lines like
everyone.
around the corner. I'd just be like walking. Like,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
confident, even though I had no idea who's staying at the door that it was going to work.
it's the confidence.
100%.
Confidence
You walk
is
up
key.
like, could we maybe?
You were such. You
Yeah.
still are, but you were confident in different ways.
I was also so just comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, you just didn't care.
Last time we went out, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Where am I? Like, that's what happens. Like, you get in a relationship, you get
Yeah.
older. It's just, you know, we're probably going to be sitting on the couch watching a movie this New Year's.
Well,
Like,
yes, and it's funny because really quickly for you. You're having a party.
A social gathering.
It's gonna be. We'll probably be watching a movie, but she's like, "Who are you bringing? Like, what guy are you bringing?" And I'm like,
what guy?
No guy. But for the movie, should we watch Saltburn again?
Saltburn. If I have to watch that movie again, I'm gonna go into a spiral.
Guys, and if anyone listening hasn't seen that movie yet, please go watch it. I have now seen it twice.
I don't know how you've seen that twice.
I won't say like go watch it because it's super good, but it's something that you just need to
It makes you feel things that you don't want to feel. And I was kind of confused like what the huge hype is about it right now. It's like such a viral movie. I get it though because it's so fucking weird and fucked up. It's just
so weird. And I think Jacob Elordi's in it and
he's hot.
We love him.
Yeah, we stand for Jacob Elordi.
But so spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen it yet, tune out.
Yeah, because we're about to spoil some shit. Because when I kept seeing everyone talk about the bathtub scene, and people's reactions and this and that, and
I don't even want to think about it.
I wanted to know. That's what ultimately made me watch it because I'm like, what could it be? What could the
What is the scene that everyone's talking about?
So for those that haven't seen it, Jacob Elordi, Felix in the movie, is pleasuring himself in the bathtub.
Gross.
And he finishes himself
in the bathtub.
In the bathtub, and the water's draining, and the other character, Oliver, goes in and starts slurping up the bathtub water.
So bizarre.
Drinking his gummies.
And like, it's so weird because there's nothing to this point that leads up to you thinking that this is going to happen.
No.
I mean, he's a little creepy for sure, but
it's the first indicator of the obsession.
Like the level of obsession.
Which actually, when the movie ended, I still am not certain why that scene was necessary.
Why did they have to put that in?
Because ultimately, he just wanted to take over his life, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think he did. I think he only killed him off. This is major spoilers. Sorry if no one's seen this.
I know.
I think Oliver only killed Felix off because he found out about his facade, and I think that he actually would have... I think because remember he was upset and sad, and I don't think he wanted to.
No,
kill him,
totally.
But he was mostly focused on his end goal, which was to take over that castle,
take over his life, and like anyone who got in his way. That's what anyone who got in his way.
But then he killed everyone else off, and at the end, like that woman, the mother, what was her name? I can't remember.
Espineth or something horrible.
Yeah, Elspeth.
Elspeth.
Yeah. I think it was Elspeth. She was super kind and. You know,
I mean, he like totally manipulated her though. Like he manipulated everyone,
right? But she would have let him stay there, and he would have had you know what I mean.
He wanted that. He was too far gone by that point. He already murdered.
Maybe that's what. It is. Like I need a synopsis from their perspective, from the writer's perspective on
what exactly. Yeah.
The thing I do like about it, and because usually I don't like movies that leave things up for interpretation, but I do kind of like that. It ends and it's like, what the fuck?
What did I just watch? Yeah.
You kind of have to put the pieces together on your own.
Totally. But you know, the bathtub scene is just foul. Like it literally,
unnecessary.
It's so gross. And he's like licking the drain hole.
Yeah.
Like, are you okay, dude? Yeah. Clearly not. He's like a serial killer, but
he's slurping it.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jacob Elordi.
Ew.
Is it the craziest thing?
Is this like your friend staying in your house? Like,
it's so weird.
Yeah, it was not
weird.
It was a movie that made me upset and anxious. Like I had to get up at one point, like start doing the dishes.
Is that why?
Oh, totally.
Oh, okay.
I told you I get like weirdly into movies.
Yeah, not me. I honestly my
attention span.
My attention span is not all there. So when I watched it the first time, I would be on my phone, and then I would look up and be like, "What the fuck am I watching? What did I miss?" And that's why
it's so funny. We watched it the second time, and you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Didn't you already watch this?"
Well, there were times that I wasn't really paying attention because it's also like a very intense movie to watch by yourself.
I would not watch that by myself, and I wouldn't watch it again. But you should watch it if you haven't watched it, and we didn't just ruin the whole thing for you. It was disturbing in a way that makes you want to continue to watch it. So
yeah,
I guess that's the
point.
There
were just some scenes. There's definitely a few more that we won't spoil everything, but just be prepared for the unspeakable.
So nasty
to happen. If anyone's on TikTok, then you already know. That there's some fucked up shit that happens in that movie. But tomorrow night, hopefully your migraine is gone because it's New Year's.
I know. If I have another one tomorrow. Knock on wood.
Do you want another butt suppository?
I've got a couple.
Did it help? Do you feel okay? How do
Yeah,
you
I mean,
feel?
I'm
You seem better.
I don't feel sick for sure. I feel like I want to go to bed for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you look tired.
Yeah, it's like it definitely. I thought it was gonna make me feel like trippy, which I felt a little.
I knew it wouldn't because Jody.
She wouldn't just give me like she just
No.
drugs me.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Just
No,
do
she
that.
did the right thing,
Yeah.
but I'm getting the cotton mouth. Like that was one of the side effects, dry mouth, and like it feels like someone has put a wet blanket over my brain. Like it's time to go night nights.
Okay. Well, I'll take you home.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you for staying.
Thanks
and,
for tuning in.
Well, thank you for staying tonight and making this podcast a priority in your life because I really appreciate that.
Bad therapy for life.
Bad therapy for life. Cheers.
Happy New Year's. See you in 2024.
See you next year.